Yo, what's going on, y'all? Peace. So, real quick, if y'all ever see me for at least longer than a month and a half, 2 months, where there's no material being uploaded or nothing like that, it's my phone, bro. The iPhone storage is ridiculous. When I start to delete stuff when I need space, it takes up more space when me deleting stuff. I don't know how, but it's just a little bug, so I'll be having to restore my phone every couple of months. So anyway, aside from that, let's get into it. Real quick, one more thing too, real quick before we get into it. Shout out to Unifiii. Shout out to Nathan, my manager, the whole Unifiii team. Shout out to On the Way to Carousel. That shit's already out right now. Just came out the second. Make sure you go stream that. I'll put the link in the description. Shout out to K Dante. Shout out to my man out to Leo Ant. Shout out to my boy Pedro. Once again, shout out to my pops. And shout out to my manager Nathan again. So let's get into it, right? Shout out P as well. So I see a lot of the time, where people be sending a lot of clips from like, the Kevin Samuels or, just a lot of brothers in general, because a lot of brothers in the pro truth community are starting to wake up once again, right? So not even waking up to, the statutes and laws and commandments of the Most High, what our Creator left here on earth for us, right? Not even necessarily taking it there. So a lot of brothers are starting to wake up to, the nature of the woman as well, right? So, a reason why women are so attractive on the outside, on the exterior, is to test you. You understand? So at the end of the day, when our Creator tells us not to put faith in man, right? When our Creator, created Eve, she was made for the man. You understand? So when we look at a lot of the situations that, even though we may be, waking up and coming into the truth, we tend to worship our women a lot, man. I don't think nobody on the planet is worshipped as much as black women. Especially, I don't think anybody on the planet worships women as much as so-called black men, especially of America. This shit's getting ridiculous, man. So once again, right, if our Creator, right, made Eve for the man, right, out of the rib, when he sees us, right, in this captivity, in this current captivity, when he sees us getting down on one knee, bowing, idolizing, and worshiping women, do you feel like the Most High is looking down proud of that shit? Because once again, if the woman was made for us, why would we get down on one knee? You understand? And at least if we have any, understanding of the scriptures at all, then, we can piece 1 and 1 together to equal 2. Very simple, but it's really just starts with, the reading comprehension as well. And this is why, shout out to Kyron if you watching this, bro. Shout out to Kyron. This is why we be having some really productive conversations, man. I met my man Kyron online and shit like that. So shout out to Kyron. But we be having some really productive conversations. So I think I was talking to Kyron about when it comes to studying, right? So in this field of endeavor, right, people in the pro truth community, most people that I'll reach out to, for instance, shout out to the High Flyers, shout out to Vin Lloyd, shout out to Chronicles of Judah, shout out to King Ref, especially shout out to King Ref, man. This nigga be on point, bro. Shout out to the Professor. Right, so most people in the pro truth community, we listen to a lot of the same material, right? And we all understand and pretty much adhere to the same, like mores and things of that nature, right? The same ethical codes and things of that nature, right? Also, shout out to Patrice O'Neal too. So when it comes to, the cultural mores, and when it comes to the conversations that we have, especially everybody along the pro truth community, I mean, it's not a big platform, but still, right? We still reach out and keep in contact with other people and other content creators. But when it comes to everybody who's a part of the pro truth community, right? And I don't claim to be a big piece of the pro truth community, but I am a part of it. So I was talking to my man Kyron, about the people that we hang around with, because we had not necessarily a debate, but it was somebody that he knows, that, because since we all study, and we all study different things, just like a scientist, right? Or just like on a football team. You have a quarterback, you have a receiver, you have the DBs, and you have the running backs and things of that nature, right? We'll all, when it comes to the game and it comes to preparation, we'll include each other in these things, right? And we'll make sure when it comes to the conversations that we're having, we share these conversations amongst each other because we're in the same field, right? And I kind of made this analogy with like Pop Warner too, treating this whole shit like Pop Warner, right? And not even just with the pro truth community or even like being a football player or things of that nature, right? So when it comes to doctors, when it comes to scientists, when it comes to musicians and rappers and, things of that nature, rappers most likely hang out with other rappers, right? Entertainers most likely hang out with entertainers. Same thing with scientists, violinists, things of that nature. So when it comes to the pro truth community, all those brothers who study on our own time, right? We do our own studies, and then we'll come back amongst each other and, communicate them with each other based off our understanding, because we all have different comprehension levels, right? And in America, I think we're the 26th lowest country, the 26th worst country when it comes to comprehension level. So this is one thing that we can do that's very conducive, right? So we were having this kind of quote-unquote debate. With somebody who was talking about, the Anunnaki being our, ancestors and things of that nature, right? And that's fine if we disagree and we have different understandings. This is why we come together as a unit and discuss them amongst each other. You understand? So when it comes to this truth, we must be able to communicate the things, that we, especially with this channel, this is like not a controversial channel, but a lot of things that I say, people don't tend to agree with until they understand, the method behind the madness and the mindset behind it. Most people tend to disagree with me until, I kind of give them a little context and pretext, So once again, this is why this channel is not even really too big. Secondly, a lot of us so-called brothers don't like to take into the account the spiritual aspect of everything that's going on. They rather put a blind eye to it. When they know that there's certain things going on, they'd rather just, be a part of the mob than standing out on their own and being informed. But anyway, so are we really so getting to the point, are we really informed when it comes to whatever we adhere to? If you read the Bible, if you read the Quran, right? Are we really where we need to be? Do we really have proper understanding in the context of the scriptures, right? And what we're supposed to be doing? If it was us, right, who turned our back on our Creator, right? And he says not to worship any other gods, because once again, our Creator, we know in the Ten Commandments, our Creator is a jealous God. And we'll get into it. So when our Creator sees us getting down on one knee, bowing to the woman that was made for us, the woman that will carry our last name, the woman who will be raising our seed, the woman who will most likely be moving into our houses, So when we're in the position that we are in today, we got to understand we're starting to wake up and come out of the truth, but we still worship our women, man. We're not going to be able to get where we need to go until we get completely out of this bullshit, man. Once again, it's a blessing from the Most High to have a wife and material woman, and to have a woman that you've known for that long and that you can maintain. That's a blessing from the Most High. So if it's a blessing from the Most High, to get the woman, once again, they say behind every strong man or every great man is a great woman or a strong woman. Fuck no, that's not true. It's not true. Behind every great man, behind every strong man, behind every great man is the Most High. Behind every strong man is our Creator. So if the Most High is behind him, right, wouldn't you be a blessing from the Most High? Why is it that we get down on one knee and worship our women? A lot of the times we see a lot of brothers, man, not even just so-called black men, but men in general, right, who getting on one knee and get turned down, and not even just getting on one knee, but who come to social media after a very bad breakup, or they catch their girl cheating and shit like that, just get out of a relationship. They come to Instagram, they come to Twitter, Snapchat, crying, TikTok, crying, Facebook, crying. Niggas are on Instagram Live crying over a woman, over something that the Most High made for you, that He made to be a blessing unto you. So the reason we have a lot of these issues is because we don't have the proper understanding of what we are supposed to be doing and what our Creator asks and has asked of us and our creators. And our ancestors. My apologies. So the problems that we have right now that are afflicting of us, or the curses, that's a you problem. It's a you problem, so-called black man. We must fix all of our issues, right? And if the women are, the way that we deal with our women is an issue, then that's an us issue. Once again, our brothers be coming on Instagram. There's so many brothers who come on Instagram crying, stressing, trying to be a sympathetic figure and gain sympathy on their side and try to make people feel bad for them over a woman, man. Over something that's supposed to be a blessing unto you. So if you're allowing that type of chaos in your life, man, that's a you problem. Once again, the woman was made for you. She's made to be a helpmeet unto the man. So if she's causing chaos, man, let her go. You can't come on Instagram crying and expect anybody to feel bad for you and care for you, man. You deserve what you allow. You understand? So speaking on that, let's get into Deuteronomy 4. This is the New International Version. I read the Torah Tanakh, but I just want you guys to be able to read along here, right? So let's start at verse 4, right? It says, now Israel, hear the decrees and laws I am about to teach you. Follow them so that you may live and may go in and take possession of the land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, is giving you. Do not add to what I command you, and do not subtract from it, but keep the commandments of the Lord your God that I give you. So we can unpack that, but that's not what we're here for. So let's go down to verse 3. It says in verse 3, you saw with your own eyes that the Lord did, what the Lord did at Baal Peor. The Lord your God destroyed from among you everyone who followed the Baal of Peor. But all of you who held fast to the Lord your God are still alive today. All right. Verse 5, see, I have taught you decrees and laws as the Lord of my God commanded me, so that you may follow them in the land you are entering to take possession of it. 6, observe them carefully, for this will show you wisdom and understanding to the nations, who will hear about all the decrees and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. What other nation is so great as to have their God near them the way of their Lord, the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him? And what other nations is so great to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I'm setting before you today? Only be careful and watch yourselves closely, so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen, or let them fade from your heart as long as you live. Teach them to your children and to their children after them. Remember the day you stood before the Lord your God at Mount Horeb, when he said to me, assemble the people before me to hear my word, so that they may learn to revere me as long as they live in the land, and may teach them and their children. You came near and stood at the foot of the mountain, while it blazed with fire, into the very heavens with black clouds and deep darkness. 12. Then the Lord spoke to you out of the fire. You heard the sound of words, but saw no form. There was only a voice. He declared you his covenant, the 10 commandments, which he commanded you to follow, and then wrote them on 2 stone tablets. 14. And the Lord directed me at the time to teach you the decrees and laws you are to follow in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Right? And then in verse 14, it goes to talk about forbidden idolatry, how idolatry is forbidden, right? Once again, in Deuteronomy 4:12, it says, the Lord spoke to you from out of the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of words, but saw no form. There was only a voice, right? So when it goes to idolatry, what is it referring to? Let's see. Once again, verse 15, you saw no form of any kind the day the Lord spoke to you at Horeb, out of the fire. Therefore, watch yourself very carefully. 16, so that you do not become corrupt and make for yourself an idol, an image of any shape, whether formed like a man or a woman. 17, or like any animal on earth, or any bird that flies in the air, or like any creature that moves along the ground, or any fish in the waters below. And when you look up to the sky and see the sun, the moon, and the stars, all the heavens arrayed, do not be enticed into bowing down to them and worshiping them. Things the Lord your God has appointed to all the nations under heaven. But as for you, the Lord took you and brought you out of the iron smelting furnace out of Egypt to be the people of his inheritance, as you are now. 21, the Lord was angry with me because of you, and he solemnly swore that I would not cross the Jordan and enter the good land the Lord your God is giving you as your inheritance. I will die in this land. I will not cross the Jordan, but you are about to cross over and take possessions of that good land. Be careful not to forget the covenant of the Lord your God has that he made with you. Do not make for yourselves an idol in the form of anything the Lord your God has forbidden, for the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. So before we go back to Deuteronomy 4, let's look at the definition of the word form. And then we're also going to look at synonyms or other words we can use as form. And then we're going to replace it, right? So when we look at the word form, the definition of the word form is a noun. 1, the visible shape or configuration of something, the form, color, and texture of the trees, right? Or an arrangement of parts or shape, or the body or shape of a person or animal. The arrangement and style in literary or musical composition, we can't really use that. But 2, in a particular way in which a thing exists or appears. See, a manifestation. You understand? Let's go down to 5. So 5, a mold, frame, or block in or which something is shaped. Temporary structure for holding fresh concrete in shape while it sets. You understand? So all of these words, or all of the definitions of this word, you understand, this brings, just a little bit of context, but it helps you understand, right? Also a little bit into the nature of the man, or just humans in general. You understand, a man's purpose is far bigger, right? When you do things, and you get paid, it feels good to have money in your pocket and things of that nature, but nothing actually really feels better than doing things out of the kindness of your heart, because those are the things that actually benefit the soul. Those are the things that come from the soul. Being a kind-hearted person, also feeding your energy the right thing, or feeding your body the right things as well. You understand? Because we are more than just these physical beings. We all have the brain, and the brain is limitless, which is the ultimate thing, or which is ultimately what our creator is, the ultimate mind. You understand? We didn't see a form. Now let's go to synonyms of the word form, and we can replace that into Deuteronomy 4:12. Now, when we see once again at the top, noun, the visible shape of configuration of something, this is of form, right? As you can see. Now let's look at similar words or synonyms that we can use other than the word form, right? So the Most High spoke from out of the midst of the fire. We saw no shape. You saw no configuration. You saw no formation. You saw no structure. You saw no appearance. You saw no exterior. You saw no outline. You saw no silhouette. You saw no profile. You saw no format. You saw no pattern. You saw no mold. Or if we go to the other ones below where it says similar, you saw no manifestation. You saw no appearance. You understand? You saw no shape. You saw no character. You understand?